both in the camera?
I am now.
Okay. So, today we watched a very enlightening documentary on the rare Pacific aquatic hydra.
Extremely accurate.
It was very accurate for the
Yes.
the life cycle of this particular species of hydra, which, if you're not aware, not unlike how dolphins have evolved to resemble fish, this hydra has evolved a very shark-like build, so it has the fins, the tail fluke, and even the fin on the back. And its heads are even incredibly shark-like as well. Now, these hydras primarily have 3 heads, but like with all hydras, if they lose a head, they grow more. In this case, they grow 3 more. Traditionally, hydras usually grow 2 more, so the aquatic hydra is a little peculiar in this regard.
Probably because of the vitamins in the ocean and all that.
Yes, the ocean is a quite healthy place for it. It's full of vital nutrients like plastic and metal and paper and refuse that the hydra just thrives on. Now,
Apparently, shit from that one
yes,
aquatic center.
and feces as well. Now, the main issue with this hydra is they've evolved teeth where they secrete venom, which inhibits the healing factor of other hydras, which allows them to prey on other hydra species. But the issue is, if the heads fight, that means the hydra can actually inflict major damage to itself, and there have been many tragic cases of hydras actually killing themselves by the heads fighting. It's truly, truly unfortunate, and it's one of the reasons the species is endangered. The species...
Save the 3-headed shark 2K16.
Now, it's also important to note that this species of hydra is, while a marine hydra, is actually amphibious and can survive for a short while outside of the ocean, enough to crawl onto islands in pursuit of prey.
Deep into the inland.
Yes,
as well.
deep inland. But it can only stay out of the water for a short while, though. It needs to quickly hurry back into the water, or it will dry out and die.
It's also very adept at maneuvering outside of the ocean.
Yeah, it does so by thrashing back and forth with its incredibly flexible spine. In fact, it's actually been questioned as to whether or not this hydra has a skeletal system at all. But we have not yet been able to achieve a specimen that we can dissect, so that theory's gone untested.
Because they also seem to teleport whenever we manage to catch them.
That is true. They are one of the few teleporting species of dragons, and they even have the ability, which has led some scientists to suspect that they have Chinese lung ancestry, they have the ability to grow and shrink in size, which may in fact suggest that they're a species of arachi, which, for those of you who do not know, an arachi is the hydra subset of the Asian dragon. Okay, so the movie we watched was The 3-Headed Shark, which is not a good movie, and
there's not a single correct scene in the entire film.
None of it's scientifically correct, no one does the correct thing, no one acts the correct way.
There's 2 okay actors, the guy from Spy Kids and Stanley.
Yeah. I don't even know.
The ship, at one point they go onto a tour boat, and the ship captain is on Quaaludes or something. His
actor's stoned out of his mind.
Mayday.
And he's like,
we don't have any lifeboats.
Yeah, they don't have lifeboats on the cruise ship, which is
extremely illegal.
It's incredibly illegal. Okay, so let's start with how the film starts, which is a bunch of... Actually, it starts with boobs. It starts with boobs.
Fake boobs.
No, her boobs were real, the first ones.
Oh, yeah.
So we have...
There's a lot of boobs in this film.
There are. So you have real boobs, and real boobs is making out with a guy, and then fake boobs is being talked into skinny dipping by another guy, so that guy goes... She looks put off.
So fake. She also has the kind of platinum blonde hair that's,
also
bleached white. So, it looks like seaweed.
The way we know her boobs are fake is she takes off her, bikini top at one point, and her boobs just do not move. They're just static.
She looks like they put life into a Barbie doll, basically.
Pretty much. They raised the Barbie doll and had it be an actress.
Yes.
But, so he swims out to the buoy, and that was, the whole bet, oh, if I swim out to the buoy, you need to go skinny dipping with me. So she, strips off and goes into the water, and is standing,
Not even really.
And standing, 2 feet of water. The water's up to, her waist at most. Not even. It's below her waist. And then this giant shark, appears and eats her, which the water was way too shallow for the shark to be in, but
she was, like, not even waist deep in water.
Like, as we said, apparently the Pacific hydra shark can shapeshift, because the size of the shark is not consistent throughout the movie at all. Like, it ranges from, like, it can eat people in, like, 2 feet of water, to it's the size of an entire, like, ferry.
Yeah, you can also tell that the entire budget for this film went into renting the boats and the shark animation.
Yeah. The shark animation was not good.
That was one of the other things that bothered us a lot, is they're clearly not in the ocean. They're clearly on a lake of some kind, because
They may have been in the ocean, but if they were in the ocean, they were, like, in an inlet bay, because they're, like...
There's land on all sides of them all the time, and they're always talking about how we need to get the land, so we'll go really far out, and we're like, there's land right behind you.
Like, there's land in every shot.
Yeah.
I think they were probably in, like... You know how, like, when you get, like, tropical islands, you can get, like, those rivers that empty out into the sea, and, like, they have, like, little islands dotting it. Like, I think they were in, like, kind of a mangrovey, like, a place where, like, you would go in the Everglades to, like, see manatees. That's basically, like, where this is taking place, it looks like.
It's pretty bad.
Like,
yeah, the acting is awful.
So, yeah, so all those
Nothing makes sense.
So, in the beginning, like, we have fake boobs, she goes out and, like, she gets eaten by, like, the shark that's in, like, 2 feet of water somehow. And then we cut to, like, this research station, which is researching, like, the big garbage thing in the Pacific. I forgot what it was called.
The garbage patch?
Yeah, the garbage patch, which I don't
Is that real? If it's real, tell me.
I think it may be I don't know if the garbage patch is... Like, I don't know what they were specifically talking about as real, but I think there is, like, a huge, like, just thing of garbage floating in the Pacific because, like, we've dumped so much trash in there and it's just, like, collected because of currents. So I think there is, like, a large amount of trash in the Pacific. I don't know if it has a specific name or not.
The research was based on the garbage patch is causing mutations.
Like, weird mutations, like
tiny piranha mutations.
Like, not like, oh, this fish has, like, an extra fin, or, like, this fish is slightly malformed. It was like...
The gills didn't form on this fish.
It's like
things that we've seen in real life.
Like, this fish is completely unrecognizable as whatever species it's originally supposed to be. Like, it has, like, piranha teeth that are, like, this long, and, like, butterfly, like, wings instead of fins, and, like, a long whip-like tail. I have no fucking idea what it's supposed to be.
That thought never goes anywhere.
No, it...
Tiny fish.
Yeah.
So there's a part... Our main characters converge on this place where they're studying the mutations of these animals because
basically we have like this thing called like Earth.
No, the Earth Project is the group.
We have like,
and then there's Persephone, which was the...
Persephone's like the thing studying it, but they have like guests from like this, I guess, conservation group called like Earth something.
The Earth Project, I think.
I don't think it was Earth.
Something, whatever. But the point I was making, there was a specimen room where they go in and they have all the mutated specimens. And there's one very badly animated little piranha-like fish, whatever, that keeps
bizarre looking,
tapping against the glass,
it's like a rat
trying to attack them.
And then later when like the shark attacks the thing and like it all goes to hell, like we see like a scientist with like his throat and like face torn off, and it's like ominous music plays and suggesting that this little fish escaped, and nothing comes of that. Like
we never see it again.
It just killed this one scientist and
then died from being out of water. Also, the entire thing blows up because apparently oxygen extremely flammable.
Like we know, like what are like the gas tanks like the scuba tanks, like, gets, like, punctured and, like, starts flying around like it would, and then it explodes, and, like, the entire, like, base explodes, and, like, the island starts sinking. I'm just like, what the...
Yeah, they're like, the island is sinking, and there's no reason for this island to be sinking, and we don't have any evidence that it is. There's even the scene where the guy's like, A4 is taking on water really fast, and it shows him, and we're like...
Standing it away with no water.
There's no water. Like...
Okay, so our main group is trying to get to, like, the Earth person boat. We keep doing this because you'll see why we keep doing this when we say the main group. So, like, of those people, only the black guy dies because minorities don't count. And then, like,
and it's Allison's fault.
Yeah, there's this girl named Allison who, like, just freaks out and runs throughout the entire movie and, like, inadvertently gets everyone killed, pretty much.
Yes, she's...
And then the lady scientist dies, so we've got Greg, who... When we first meet Greg, because we have Maggie, who's, like, being hired on as an intern for Persephone, and Greg, who's, like, part of this, like, conservation group, and he's just like, Maggie, it's been so long, and, like, because apparently, like, they went to college together until he dropped out, and, like, she looks so put off by him, like, she looks scared of him, and Greg is just, like, so creepy, we're just, like, It's like the director told Greg his character was a serial killer, but nothing ever comes of it.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking, like, if we weren't watching a movie called Three-Headed Shark, we would assume this was, like, a thriller about Greg killing everyone while they were trapped on this underwater base.
He's set up like a sociopath. He is, and he like stops acting that way halfway through the film.
But it's, like, a really weird way to, like, introduce him. He's, like, very off-putting when we first meet him.
Yeah.
So they all go on the boat, and they're, like, sailing on. They're calling for help, and they call for help from the dude from Spy Kids. Which dude from...
The guy who was the uncle, but not really the uncle in Spy
What's
Kids.
his name? Machete?
Yes.
Yeah, Machete from Spy Kids, which is fun because he actually has a machete in this film. I wonder if that was a shout out or if they just felt that the stereotypical Hispanic man should have a machete.
He's the only one who's an actual actor in this film, and it's... Why is he even there?
I don't know.
He's there in 2 scenes. He's great.
Okay, so they're all sailing, and they come across this, like, river cruise, like, ferry thing.
They called these guys, and at first we're like, these look like the kinds of guys who films would cast as the drug cartel.
Yeah.
Like,
not the stereotype, but that's like the look they have. It's just, like, because he's got, like, you've got, like, the, like, old grizzled Hispanic man with, like, his hair pulled back, and he's got, like, the sleeveless shirt.
Yeah.
And like, covered in tattoos.
And the other 2 guys that look like thugs, like... They were white, but they looked like thugs.
Yeah. And then, like,
later,
when
they pull guns out of nowhere.
Yeah, they, like, open, like, a chest in, like, the back of their boat and just, like, pull out, like, semi-automatics, and I'm just like, okay.
So were they a drug cartel? Like...
It's like, they radioed for help, and the only people who answered were the Hispanic Somalian pirates, apparently.
They're like, we're a fishing boat. Who are you fishing for?
Drugs. Alright, so then, like, our main cast comes across, like, this
tour party goat, which the one with no lifeboats.
Yeah, it has no lifeboats for reasons.
With the captain on Quaaludes.
And we meet 2 other main characters, or 2 characters who will join the main characters. Rosemary and Howard, who I guess are engaged at first.
Stanley. 3.
Hold on, we haven't met Stanley yet.
Oh yes, that's true.
So that's happening, and then, like, the shark attacks the boat because it's attracted to pollution. Because apparently the shark doesn't eat meat, it eats pollution, even though it eats plenty of meat. We see it eat people all the time.
It eats like 20 people, but then it suddenly only eats pollution.
Yeah.
Also, why would it be attracted to pollution?
I don't know, because pollution made it. Obviously, you're attracted to the thing that made you.
That's obviously how evolution works.
Mm-hmm.
So they find this boat, and it's a party boat, and the shark hits the boat,
and it's, like, immediately starts saying... Apparently all the boats in this... Like, everything in this film that should be made out of metal is made out of, like...
Tinfoil.
Because, like, the shark rams it once, and everything, like, explodes and starts leaking, and it's like, the shark...
A bunch of people are bleeding after the boat stops rocking, and we're like, what are you bleeding from? Where did you get hurt? There's plastic chairs knocked over, we're like, did that cut you? What are you talking about?
the deadly plastic chair, so...
And a bunch of people fall off the side of the railing when it clearly looks like they vaulted themselves.
Yeah. It's like you've ever seen, like, that gif of, like, the old Star Trek with, like...
The original series, where it stabilizes the camera.
Yeah.
And it just looks like they throw themselves in all directions. That's with the ship.
Yeah. Like, that's basically how these people fall over. It's like, oh, the boat got hit, act like the boat's knocked over, and they're just like, okay. And it's not good.
It's not good.
So, Rosemary, I guess, at some point bolts over the edge, because she's, like, hanging on, and Howard's trying to bring her up, and, like, this, like, scruffy, like, slightly overweight, ponytailed guy shows up and helps Howard, and then he becomes, like, the protagonist for, like, the next 20 minutes of the film. His name is Stanley.
There's only 30 minutes left in the film that they're introducing all these new characters to us.
Like...
Fucking Stanley. Stanley's the best.
He is the best. I don't think he's a good actor, but, like, he's decent. Like, he actually tries to emote.
He fucking emotes, yeah.
Like, he's clearly, like, the only person who actually, like, cares about this film having any sort of quality.
And he's the only character who makes any sense, also.
Like, he takes the axe and goes and, like, rescues Howard, like...
Because Howard falls down a hallway.
Yeah, and, like, slides backwards.
Gives himself a concussion.
Yeah.
And then he gives the axe to Ryan, and Ryan gets himself killed.
Yeah. Ryan's one of the people with, like, the Earth boat dudes.
He slices the thing, and then the shark eats it. He's on the shark's back, and somehow the shark eats him.
The shark, like, twists and, like, eats him. And then it, like, keeps going. Like, Stanley's, like, helping them all. And... then, like...
They find the island with the
Then
guys.
they find an island, because they need to get to this one island, because it's the only land that they can reach, even though there's
Despite
land
us seeing them passing land
all
while
side
they're
of
going.
them.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. Like, if... Like, look up pictures of, like, tropical, like, ocean coast, like, rivers. Like, look up places where you could go to, like, see manatees. And that's basically where it looks like they were filming. Like, it's clearly just, like, a river that empties out into the ocean. Because there's, like, land on both sides.
And it's, like, obviously because they were a low-budget
Mm-hmm.
operation, so they couldn't really get a place that would be, there's one island and the rest is ocean. Or have the boats for that.
Yeah.
So, it's...
And they don't even try to Photoshop the land out.
Yeah. They don't even do it with the guy. There's a point where Stanley gets his arm bitten off, and then he swims afterwards, and we clearly see him swimming with both hands.
Yeah, they just, like, wrap one of his fists in, like, slightly bloody, like, towel. It's just like, no, see, it's clearly just a stump.
Yeah. But they go to this island, and they find there's, like...
One dude.
There's one dude who's freaking out, and there's a bunch of bodies
who, like, was
that
being,
are
like,
super inland. There's a bunch of bodies.
He's, like, being held hostage by the shark, pretty
Yeah.
much.
He acts like he's being held hostage. He's, like, freaking out. He's like, it's not gone.
Hold on, no. Before that, drug cartel people show up. The drug cartel, like, Spy Kids dude and his buddies
Yes.
show up, and they try to shoot the shark, but the buddies get eaten, and then he takes out his pistol and, like, shoots the shark multiple times. Way more times than you'd have bullets in that thing. He shoots it, like, 50 times. The gun probably only holds, like, 6 bullets max. That doesn't work, so then he takes out a machete and, like, hacks off the middle head.
Yeah.
And at this point, we were all just like, okay, the shark's dead. Because, one, it would have bled out, and two, the thing goes completely fucking limp.
Yeah.
And it, like, slips off, and it's just, like, laying there in the surface, like, it's dead. The shark is dead. It's not moving, it's dead. And then it, like,
It was
springs
really
to
awesome
life
too.
suddenly and eats him, and has now, like, grown 3 heads from the middle, which is where the joke at the beginning of us saying, like, this isn't a shark, this is just a very derived hydra species.
Yeah.
Because we decided that makes much more sense saying that's just, like, a derived hydra.
Yeah. The parts, I don't know if you explained the parts where it teleports. There's a part where it jumps on a dude, and there's clearly sand underneath the
Yeah.
dude, and it jumps into the water.
Into the
The
sand.
sand?
He's, like, standing up to his knees in water, and it, like, leaps out of the water from the sand and onto him and just, like, vanishes. Like, the water wasn't deep enough for it to do that. Where did it go? So we decided it can, like, planeswalk. And it changes size constantly, so we'll go from being, like, small enough to fit, that's, like, the little, like, ferry yacht thing, to literally the same length as it. And it's just, like, there's no consistency with how big this thing is. So
They find the guy being held hostage.
They find the guy being held hostage, and then they split off into 2 different boats, and Allison
And
gets
they
everyone
give
killed.
Allison one boat, and I said, don't give Allison the boat! She's gonna fuck it up!
And she does, and they all die. They all die because Allison was too fucking stupid to look behind her to see if the shark was following them,
Also, in
even
the
though
middle-
everyone else was, like, waving their hands, yelling shark, which even if she can't hear them, you know there's a shark chasing you. If the people on the other boat are freaking out, look for the fucking shark.
That's also the part where they get these boats and they're leaving, and the people in Allison's boat are like, we're safe, everything's gonna be okay. Like, you're still on the water. The shark's still out there. You have zero reason to believe that you're safe.
So that boat gets eaten, and then
And explodes.
explodes.
It explodes. The shark jumps on it, and the thing explodes.
And
There's an
then
explosion.
They're, like, luring the thing back to, like, the garbage patch for
that shark
whatever
would be sushi.
reason. And they're, like, using garbage bags to lure it, but, like, it eats the last garbage bag and bites off Stanley's hand, so he has to jump into the water and sacrifice himself so that it can...
Stanley, no.
And then, like, after it eats Stanley, for whatever reason, like, the 2 side heads, like, eat the middle heads, and then it dies? And we don't know why. Like,
Yeah.
why did
They
that
like
kill it?
lure it back to the garbage patch, and I guess there's so much pollution it goes crazy, and it starts eating its own heads, and then it eats enough that it dies. I guess
It's very confusing. They don't explain how the shark died. Okay, so what other weirdly confusing? Oh, another weirdly confusing thing is they have no good, like, perception on how deep the water is at any given time, because you have people, like, swimming out to the boats and they're just like, we can't move the boat in any closer. It's like, the boat is in deep enough water where the shark is swimming under you. You can move the boat in closer.
yeah, and the acting's so bad.
So bad.
No, they all
No
do
one
that,
emotes.
They all do that thing in that happens in bad horror flicks where either they don't emote or they're acting, you know, where they're like, no. It's like, great, A+ line read there. Well done.
You either get, like, the boat captain who's on like fucking.
Quaaludes.
He's like
He had no emotion.
He's like, Mayday.
He was being attacked by a 3-headed shark, and he was like, Mayday.
We're sinking.
Sorry, we don't have any
water sinking.
lifeboats.
Like, everyone calm down.
Yeah.
Like, where are the lifeboats? Sorry, where are the lifeboats? We don't have lifeboats. Like, show an emotion, any emotion at this point. I would even take like misplaced glee.
The guy in the beginning, when the Persephone started exploding or whatever, he was like, Brian, you gotta get out of there. Get out of there, Brian.
We're all gonna die. Like, he saved his acting for that one line. Like, he saved every emotion he had for that single line.
And to be fair, the best actors are in the main group. Because we spend a lot of time with them, and they're the most tolerable actors in this entire film.
Mm-hmm. Stanley's also the best.
Yeah, Stanley's great. We were also the whole time like, oh, he's with Stanley now, he's safe. Yeah, Stanley will keep him safe. There's a part where one of the other main guys dies because the ship, this is probably an actual ship, so this is probably an actual thing, but the ship has this weird dick thing where it's just like a boardwalk type thing. Right? No, the other guy. That it's like sticks out before that, Brian. And the shark jumps on top of the ship and like half of it goes under and the guy was falling. Guy. Yeah. And he was falling and like Stanley held one hand and then his girlfriend held the other hand or whatever.
It wasn't his girlfriend, it was
some chick. And then Howard, fucking concussed Howard, is like, Stanley, catch me, Stanley.
So Stanley's not holding on to both of them.
Yeah, and Stanley had to let go of the scientist guy. No, I'm not exaggerating that line. Howard really was like, Stanley, catch me. So
Stanley's like the hero of the film. And this is why we kept saying like main character, because like the cast like shuffles around, like so it starts to like, oh, like lady scientist girl is gonna be the main character because she's like the one who like introduces everyone as like has the exposition. It's like, but then it, like passes it to her like this,
her boobs.
But then it passes like the main character's ass to like intern girl, and then it passes it to Greg, and then like they meet Stanley, and now Stanley's the main character, and then Stanley like literally hands Ryan the axe. He's like, okay, guess we're following Ryan now. And then Ryan dies. I'm gonna go back to like this mess of a boat.
And we talked about, in terms of horror movies, that's a good thing to do, because there's a horror movie trope that the protagonist survives. If we don't have a set protagonist, the danger feels real for all the characters. It's usually a good thing to do. But when your movie's narrative is so chaotic, like, as it is, it just adds more confusion.
Like, if you're going to do that, you need to have, like, it where, like, you have everyone developed equally at the same time, and, like, each having jobs they're doing at the same time. This is just, like, literally, like I described it as, like, it's like they're holding the protagonist baton and literally passing it off like it's a relay race.
It's like a quest in a video game, and you talk to that quest giver until you finish his quest, and you're going to the next one now. That's what it felt like with these guys. Yeah, it at least knows what it is, though. It knows it's a movie called Three-Headed Shark, and you're only there to see the three-headed shark.
Yeah, there's no, like, strange buildup of, like, before the, like, they get into, like, the shark attacks, like, instantly. It's like, it knows, like, you're here to see a three-headed shark eat people. We're not gonna, like, dick you around, like, trying to give you, like, here's the setting, here are the people. Like, no, like, here's just, here are very loosely established characters, and here's the shark eating them.
They barely established a lot of the characters because we didn't really need them to be established. So, like, we're complaining about how bad the plot is of this movie, but it's one of those movies that the plot's gonna be bad no matter what. At least they knew the plot was gonna be bad, and they didn't bother. It's sometimes, they were constantly like, the island's sinking, there's stuff happening, and they didn't show us that.
They made no effort to show us that.
The island didn't look like
CGI explosions.
The island didn't look like it was sinking. We saw a bunch of explosions, but, like, why couldn't they stay inland? Like, they didn't show us anything except the shark, whose size changed and who sometimes definitely just looked like stock photo of a regular shark.
Yeah.
And whose tail should not have been that flexible.
The hydra.
Yeah.
So everyone go. It's not a good film, but it was fun.
It's really, we were laughing the whole time.
I would say, personally, for me, I would suggest watching it with someone else because I have trouble watching so bad they're funny movies on my own. Like, it needs to be, like, The Room level bad before I can, like, enjoy it on my own.
This one's funny to watch with a friend.
Yeah. Because then you and your friend can, like, riff on it.
Yeah.
Which is basically what we did the entire time. So, I would definitely recommend it. It's by no means a cinematic masterpiece, but it's a fun watch.
Yeah, it's... If you got, what was it, an hour and a half? Not even.
Yeah.
You got an hour to kill. An hour to kill and a couple of friends and maybe some drinks if you're legal.
You make a drinking game of it. Every time the protagonist shifts, take a shot.
Yeah.
Every time the shark changes its size, take a shot. Every time the shark teleports, take a shot.
Alright, we don't want people to kill themselves.
There's only 3 rules.
Still.
Alright, so go watch the 3-headed shark movie, or as I like to call it, the very accurate documentary of the rare Pacific marine hydra.
Yeah.
Alright,
Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.
bye.